Hey guys, welcome in. I'm gonna get some lo-fi beats going in the background for us. I'm Amber. If you're here from the Facebook group, welcome. I'm very excited to be doing this. I thought it'd be a good idea to spread some knowledge for those who aren't really doing anything yet for the 4th of July. So feel free to drop any Canva questions you might have in the comments and I will address what I can. And then this will stay up as a video, so anytime you want to re-watch it, feel free to do that. And I guess before we get some questions rolling in, I will just share a few of my favorite tips with you until somebody feels comfortable enough to comment their own. If you guys could let me know if the music volume is okay right now, or if it's quieter, that would be great. Other than that, let's get started. The first thing I want to address / share is keyboard shortcuts. I think they're very helpful in Canva, and the more you know, honestly, the faster it makes your process. So, for example, to summon a text box really quick on your designs, no matter what you're designing, you'll click into the design and then hit T on your keyboard, and as you'll see, that will summon a text box for you. So that was fun. We're just gonna go ahead and name this shortcuts. And then I will write everything on the screen as we go, and then possibly share this as a presentation post video in the comments. But yeah, so let's go ahead and put T for text box for those who missed it. But yeah, I see a couple of new people trickling in. My name's Amber. If you're new here, welcome from the Facebook group. I'm so excited. If you have any questions, please drop them and I will get right to it. If you could let me know what the music volume's like for you guys, that'd be great. I don't want it to be too loud. Alright, next keyboard shortcut will be R on your keyboard, and honestly this is one of my favorites. If you click R on your keyboard, guys, it summons a square, technically a rectangle. I mix up R and S a lot because S summons a sticky note, which I don't want, but you know, R on the keyboard summons squares, and obviously you can resize them. So these are the graphic squares, so they're not elements. And these are perfect because when you're making, for example, templates, you can make them transparent and, you know, make it as the frame, if you will. So we're just gonna go ahead and text R for squares. Yeah, I use this one a lot. And honestly, once you know these shortcuts, it speeds everything up, you know? Why waste your time going all the way over here and then typing in square, you know, waiting for it, going to shapes? That takes too long. Why should I do that when I know the keyboard shortcut is R? Okay, then let me see if there's any other keyboard shortcuts. Okay, for videos, this is a different one, but say I want to split a clip. If I'm editing a video in Canva, I would go to where I want to split it and you hit S on your keyboard, and that will go ahead and split a clip. And then to undo, you'll hit Control Z, and on the Mac, I believe it's Command Z. I am on a PC right now, but I work in both. I think that's pretty good for now. Let's go ahead and put that on there. So S for sticky note in a design, or splitting clips in a video. Awesome. Yeah, feel free to drop any questions. No questions too stupid. We all start somewhere. So trust, I know. Okay, let's retype that to keyboard shortcuts. That might help a lot, actually. All right. I don't really have a process. I probably should have lined out a process of things to address, but it's whatever. I guess I can give you guys a general Canva tour because I'm not sure what the skill level of everybody is, I guess, and you know, why not? It's always good. So up here you got your title, your profile picture, stuff like that. This is the duration of your entire project, which you can also change by clicking into the clips themselves. You can change the time, so that's also very helpful. Then over here you have your plethora of menus. As you can see, I have a ton of apps here at the bottom that I like to use, but we can go through those in a minute. For design, this is where you're going to find templates. Hey, welcome in, Michelle. You're a newbie. Hey, so was I once. Don't worry. I got you. Yeah, design, you can find templates. This really fun thing called layouts, which I'm pretty sure is new. So it's basically like if you've ever worked in PowerPoint and you've moved elements around, you can click on layout and it'll suggest new layout options basically. And then styles, you can apply like brand colors, for example, text and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of fun features, and I feel like templates is a really easy one to start with when you're new, just kind of getting new to things, used to things, my bad. So for example, YouTube thumbnail, that's what it gives me as a template, and then I could go in and edit what I want. You get the picture, so let's get rid of all of that. Alrighty, and then Elements tab is where you're going to search for anything and everything you put into your design. So literally just disregard any of this crazy stuff. I'm always designing new things, and sometimes there's random stuff, but I don't know. For example, you could put in letter, and you'll have a different plethora of categories, but let's start on graphics, and we're gonna make this Canva free friendly. So to do that, you could go to this little filter tab, filter it by free, and then you won't even have to worry about it being Canva free or pro. Hey, welcome in from the group. Nice to meet you guys. These, for example, are all free elements, so I can use these in a template as well, is my favorite part about them. And so when you're selling templates, I recommend to make them Canva free friendly, because you'll just hit a way bigger group of people. And, you know, someone who doesn't have it and might overread it might not get angry about not having Canva Pro. But yeah, this is where you can find like those typography, like fun letters. Let's do bubble letter, for example, and see what comes up. Yeah, so say you have this and you want to spell out your name, right? But all the letters don't pop up at once. You can go to an element, click on the 3 dots, and then click see more like this. And it should typically bring up a bunch of the same things. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spell out my name as an example. It's always a searching process. There it is. The E and the R, please. Wonderful, wonderful. And then here's a fun trick. To get things spaced out equally, you will highlight them all, click on the 3 dots, and click space evenly. You can go to tidy up. Now they're all the same width apart. And then we can group them together. Now it always moves as one, so if you're working with like a bunch of small stuff, it can be really tedious. This is a very good hack to keep it all together. And then let's say we want to change them all to my brand color blue. Oh, okay, it didn't let me do what I wanted to do, so that was unfortunate. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I'll just show you in a different example. But you can change the colors of elements as you please, and then we'll regroup it. And there you got some bubble letters. Very fun. Alright, let's see. And then let's go to frames. I know a lot of people love frames, so frames is basically pictures. And okay, let's see. Wow, I was just about to ask how you make them smaller at the same time. Yeah, just you could either highlight like this, just by clicking and dragging it across all the elements you'd have. Let's see, let's put them back. So ungroup, let's say they are all jumbled around, right? But we still want to make them the same size. You just highlight it like that, and you can resize it. And let's see what it would do here. You can put them on the center. I guess it really just depends on what you're doing. Put them all in the middle. Obviously that's not how you spell amber, but you get the point. But yeah, frames. This is where you insert pictures. Create a frame from scratch, yes and no. That's something I'm personally still working on. But to get to frames, you could either type in frame and then click on see all. And then just pick out whatever, like this is a good profile picture frame. We could also do you can find some cool mockups in frames as well. Just be careful, like for example, if I type in iPad, it's not going to show up a lot since it's technically a branded thing, but if you think outside the box and type in tablet, you know, you can get a different result. There's a bunch of fun stuff. Like honestly, I just kind of type in random things sometimes to see what kind of frames there are. Let's see if they have any mockups. They have some cool animated frames as well, like this one for example. Let's see, let's pick out one more, and then you can also sort it by animated if that's something what you're looking for. So for example, let's put social media, and let's say we want it to be like a GIF or something. Let's do animated. So again, in that filter, and then you can click animation. Okay, well that didn't work, so it's lying to you, but it definitely is animated. As you can see, the little stuff on here is animated, but let's just go ahead and use that as our 4th frame. Let me resize some stuff real quick to fit it all around. Okay, and for frames, literally it's just drag and drop. It's that simple, and then when you click delete on your keyboard, it'll delete it from the frame and not the whole thing. Have you tried the magic edit tool to get my custom elements? I don't know exactly what you mean, but I do use the magic tool a lot. We could pull up some ChatGPT and combine some stuff as well if you guys have any questions regarding that. Let's just put here. Let's put my thumbnail here because we posted about it. Why not? Let's do a mock-up on the iPad. I just made these chips with my dad's dog as the mascot. As you can see, like that would look better as a transparent, but I don't know. Let's do the coloring page. Sure, it's not the most beautiful example right now, but you get the point. You can drag and drop into frames. Is there a frame for collage? Let's go find out, shall we? I don't know what that is. Let's see. Sometimes you have to kind of like mess around with it. I guess there's this one for collage. You could also just make your own. I'm trying to think of like what to type in for that. Sometimes it's a little difficult. Let's see, photos. Yeah, that usually brings up collages. If you type in photos, multiple, there's a bunch of different types of ones you can choose from. Oh, we already have a puzzle piece, but you get the point. So there's a bunch of different collages. Magic Edit gives you custom elements. I actually have not heard of that, so that is very interesting. Moving on from frames, let's just go ahead and do photos. So the next tab up here would be photos, and you can also sort these by free and all that type of stuff. But something that I think is really cool, for example, if you're doing, let's say, I don't know, some fancy mock-up, right? And you see these are transparent, and you want more of those. A good way to sort them would be cutouts only. And then you'll only get shown transparent PNGs. And then you could also just clip these from Google, honestly. So let's say I just want fruit transparent. We'll go and grab it. Let's pick one. I don't know. I don't have the license for this, but for the sake of the example, let's copy the strawberry. And we're gonna Control and V, post it into our design. And as you see, they lied. It's not really a transparent, but Canva Pro users get the background remover tool, which is also a great tool. And there you go. A great little background removal. And sometimes when you do that and you want to add a shadow, it kind of messes up the whole thing. But for example, now it didn't. So, hooray. Now we have our own transparent strawberry, and to prove it that it is transparent, you can put anything behind it and it doesn't have that pixelated grid behind it. So that's fun. Videos, you can also remove the background from. I don't think it's a great tool on videos personally, but you know, I could be wrong. Then audio, I don't mess with this too much, but when I edit videos in Canva, I'll occasionally use an audio. You can just browse through this, it's pretty self-explanatory. And then mockups. I know that is a very popular one in this group. So there are 2 ways to get to mockups, and I actually just learned this, so why not share the knowledge? You can go to apps on the left side and type in mockups. There are different ones, but the one from Canva itself is going to be this first one. And then you'll see you have all these different categories for mockups. Let's just go ahead and do, I don't know, let's do the hoodie, why not, right? Alright, so the thing is with these, you can't really like edit it too much. As you can see, it tells you just drag and drop any image. So let me just grab something. Let's grab the coloring book ferns, because why not? They're cute. Aw, there you go. There you'd have a mock-up, and then you could, you know, properly mock it up if you wanted to. But that is one way to get to mock-ups. And the second way is actually on the home tab, click on apps, make sure this side menu is open, and then click on mockups down here. Now this is actually going to give you way more options for some reason. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. And then, for example, a lot of people, they were looking for the chip mockup. I saw a hack to type in beverages, and then the chip bag will pop up there. Don't ask me why, it just happens. I did link this in my store if you need to get to it, along with a chip bag designing template. That way you could basically pair the 2 together for only $1. So if you want to make your life easier, why not? Let's see if I have any of them saved. Yeah, okay. Let's use the one I did yesterday. And then you can insert it into your bag, adjust image. We're just gonna fix that real quick. And then on these, and it looks wrong. However, since it's a 3-dimensional item, the template will wrap around like that. Then you're gonna click Save Mockup, and it'll pop up a little like window, and then you could download it all the way, but I just copy it on the computer since it's faster, and then that was so quick. Now we have a realistic chip mockup. Crazy, right? I love that tool, and I actually assembled this bag properly yesterday. It looks so cute. I plan on making a full chip creation tutorial with physical assembly, so if that's something you're interested, definitely feel free to subscribe. Let's see, I will take a break from talking and let you ask any questions you might have. Remember, nothing is too stupid or complicated or whatever. If I can't answer it, I will definitely do that. Let me go find out what this magic edit thing was you're talking about. Let's see, elements. I don't know where I would find that. Maybe magic media. Oh, there we go. This is interesting. I've never tried this one before, so we're gonna go ahead into ChatGPT and grab us a good prompt because I don't know what to grab. Let's see. Let's do a little mouse fitting to the channel. Write a prompt for a little mouse graphic / element that will be created within Canva, fitting to the little mouse brand. Let's see what that spits out, because that'll be interesting. And then, for example, in ChatGPT, I have it remember all my brand stuff. It just makes my life so much easier. Let's see what it says. Styles. I think we will go with... Dang, this is hard, honestly, to choose. Let's do sticker. Thank you, Michelle. And then you're the one who I think texted there. Who was it with the magic elements? So, Sadity. Thank you for that. Oh my goodness, look how cute! I'll definitely have to play around with this tool. I've never used this before, but that is definitely a very interesting tool. And honestly, I feel like if you give it a really detailed prompt, it could probably spit out some really interesting stuff. Definitely thank you for that tip. These are cute. I appreciate that. Alrighty, let's see. Next on our list, so we did mock-ups. Text, I feel like is really self-explanatory. I guess a fun tip I could share is, for example, I did a graphic for somebody in the group. She had a Powerpuff Girl thing going on, and it was like dad of the Powerpuff Girls or something. So there are great websites where you can download fonts for free. So for example, I downloaded the Powerpuff Girl font into my Canva, and then that really just steps up your design. So for example, I know a lot of you guys do like those party favors and stuff like that. You could either go to DaFont, whatever, or I think the other one was Font Space, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yes. Those are both really good resources. Let's see, and let's type in Bluey, see what we get. Actually, you don't know what the Bluey font looks like, so I'll have to cross-reference. That is very cute. All right, and then personal use for free. Then we go ahead and download it. The font is now in my computer. Then we would go here, click on the text, upload a font. Oh, actually, bear with me here. I have to actually go extract the font. This is so annoying on a PC. On a Mac, you could probably straight upload it, but whatever. One extra step. There we go, upload that font. And then just make sure whichever ones you're getting, like, they have to be good for commercial use depending on what you're doing it for. Like, if you're just doing it for yourself, I don't think it matters personally, but always make sure. And there you go. Now you have your own editable Bluey text in your Canva. And you can basically do this with anything. Like, I've done it with Minecraft. So let's just grab that. And I think this is really, really clutch for customizing like names and stuff like that, especially if you're doing like a theme. So for example, this is what the Minecraft font looks like. It's a very, very, very helpful thing, because now let's say I am the birthday girl and I want something Minecraft themed. So easy to customize that. Yamby. Right? Okay, let's see what else we got. Brand kits. Very, very helpful as well. I feel like this speeds up a process immensely. You can upload all your logos to logos. You can edit your brand colors and then shuffle them around. You can choose fonts that you tend to use a lot and so much more. You could also create brand templates. If you guys want me to touch up on bulk create, let me know in the comments. I do have a tutorial on it already, but you could basically create hundreds of designs in literally minutes. It's ridiculous. Tools, this is probably the least used thing I use. Oh, I remembered another shortcut. L on the keyboard summons a line, so that is also very helpful. L for a line. They just kind of come to me, you know? But yeah, I can make together a presentation if that would be more helpful. Let's see, projects. Obviously, that's how you look at all your other projects. There are so many Canva apps to explore. I honestly haven't explored all of them myself. Bulk create. I honestly really love this. We can touch up upon it briefly if you'd like. So for example, to do that, bulk create is most handy when you have like a templated design. Basically, like, the picture typically stays the same or similar, like the layout, and the text will be changing. So this is really good for like quotes, affirmations, flashcards, name tags, you know, stuff like that. So I guess let's just make a name tag for the sake of this example. Let's do something like that. You can round corners up here, do outlines and stuff like that. Let's do pink. And then we'll do, hello, my name is. And we'll change that color real quick. Okay, so that is going to stay where it's at, and then we're going to put another text box down here. Okay, now very important, make sure that you pull the sides of the text box out like that, because if it's like super close like this, it'll squish the text and it'll mess it all up, and you don't want that. So we're gonna make the text a little bigger. I assume we're just doing first names for this made up event. And then I want it to stay right there exactly on every single design I'm making, right? This is also helpful if you're doing a bunch of like coloring pages, for example. You're gonna go ahead and lock in that element twice. Very important that you do it twice because it won't move, okay? Then we're gonna go in, we don't need a ChatGPT thing for this, but let's say we're gonna bulk create, right? Bulk create, enter data manually, or you could like not, you know? But let's put name as our column, and then let's do Amber, let's do Beth, Marcus, Mario, Bluey. Okay, so this is all the fields essentially that will be filled into your paragraph text, right? So you're gonna click on your paragraph text, connect data, and choose the field to connect it with. And you can do this with a bunch of types of fields, but obviously for the sake of this, I wanna save time, so we're gonna click continue, and then it'll generate 5 designs. Then when we open them up in our projects, you will see it might have stole the first page, so we'll have to see what happened there, but yeah, let's ignore that. But you'll see where we bulk created, okay, we should have done this differently, but you get the point. It bulk created all the name tags, and all the names are in the place we want them to be. And you could do this with images, you can do this with social media posts, like literally the options are endless, and since I found out about this, I can't shut up about it because it is such a great tool. Okay, let's see what else we can touch up on. Some frames, of course, what was mentioned. Let's go to apps, type in frame, oh, let's spell it right, huh? And let's see what we get. I have tried some of these I have not. I know there's one, image to frame. So I guess theoretically if you have a, oh, I have 0 left. Okay, not all of these are free. Alright, I'm still learning, but you could do this one. It's like a very simplified, you can like add frame points and stuff. Or apparently, yeah, this is where you need pro with that company though, so it's not within Canva. I'm still learning this, so once I figure out how to do it, I will gladly share how to do it. But yeah, then there's also this one, which is really fun. Fonts and lettering. I have no idea what's about to pop up right here, but it's taking too long. So, oh yeah, charts and graphs and all that stuff. Honestly, a great new addition. If you, for example, have a bunch of data stored within Canva that you'd want to make like a presentation with, for example, let's say stats on Canva customers, whatever, right? And you have that as a Canva spreadsheet, you can import the data or from wherever else, right? And it'll make you graphs and stuff, and you can change them to be your brand color as well. And some of these are animated. I haven't messed with this too much in my personal Canva, but I use it for work sometimes. QR art is a very fun one. You can, you know, choose whatever. So let's put a little mouse animated, see what it gives us. QR AI, and then we'll do littlemousearts.com. Oh, never mind. I lied. That needs a pro subscription. Okay, when it comes to QR codes though, the one I use is called dynamic QR codes, and I have never ever had an issue with this one. To use it, honestly, simply you just click on the one you want, put in your link, and then you could also add your logo as well. Let's see if I can find mine quick enough, then I will. Let's do the pink one. Hooray! And then F12 on Windows will give you a dropper tool to grab the color. Bear with me here. There it is. On the Mac, you can just simply use the dropper tool. I wish they had this on a PC. For whatever reason, they don't. and then add to design, and there you have your custom branded QR code. So, you know, you can choose whatever you want. And the same thing applies to honestly every QR code. It's like the same. So let's say we want this one, we can go ahead and copy that all, add it to the design, and if you were to scan that, it would lead you to my website. So that is a fun way of making QR codes. Let's see what else we got here. Photo to sketch. I've used this very rarely, but it does work. It turns your photo into a sketch. However, I will throw you guys a great resource. This website, I'll link it into the description after the fact. This has saved my life so many times. I use this for Cricut designing back when I would make cutting boards. So I'm trying to think of something I can put on here that is not weird. Let's see. Let's do... I don't have a lot of stuff saved in here. Let's do this butterfly one, okay? And it'll turn your image, whatever it is, into an SVG. And that is really good. Basically, an SVG lets you change the color of the stuff really easily, which is really nice. And you can like edit it on the side here of like how the details are and stuff like this. I didn't pick the best picture for this example, but I feel like the point is clear, and you can copy that image, put it back into Canva. However, if you want it to be like the color editable, you're gonna have to download it and then actually go back and upload it, which is kind of stupid, but it is what it is. There we go. And now you can edit it however you want. So I feel like this would be really helpful if you're making logos, for example, and you need those to be SVGs. You need to edit the color, or the client does, or whoever. You can turn any photo into an SVG, and it is free, completely 100% free, or else I wouldn't use it because I am cheap. But yeah, great resource right there. Let's see. Do you guys have any questions for the time being about any templates, about any processes? I'm gonna take a quick drink of my Spindrift and let you listen to some lo-fi jazz while I take a brief intermission. But yeah, feel free to comment your questions and I will definitely help what I can. So I'm just gonna let this be the screen for now because the music was kind of messed up. So, okay, I'm gonna take like a 1 minute quick voice break and I'll be right back. Alright, I am hydrated. We can continue. Let's see. I'm trying to think off the top of my head of any more helpful tips. Okay, I have some. For those who have seen those really fun videos, God, I can't think of an example right now, but like, for example, those brand mockups where the fruit is floating and there's like a poppy can or whatever. I can show you how to make that. That's actually not too difficult. So for the sake of that, let's grab a Diet Coke can transparent. Frankly, because Diet Coke is my favorite drink, so no specific reason. And we will nab that real quick, paste it into our design. Should be a transparent, we'll find out. So I guess this will be a Diet Coke mock-up or whatever. Let me delete these slides so you can see the whole process, but we're gonna basically make the Diet Coke come up from the bottom, maybe wiggle around a little bit, and then we can have some like drops or whatever around the can. Let's actually get a wet one because those look cooler. Yeah. Let's grab this one. Beautiful. Okay. I don't think I've ever seen a Diet Coke can that looks like this, but whatever. Okay. So, to understand Canva transitions, basically, it took me a little bit, but once I understood how it worked, it made a lot of sense. Every time you want to move something, the element has to be on the slide before. So, for example, we're just going to move right here and split with S on our keyboard. And since we want it to come up from the bottom and be like majestic or whatever, we're going to move it right there, and then we're going to click out of it, click on it again, and use the arrow keys to hide it. I know this is a really weird thing, but we're going to see it like disappears, so you're going to undo and then it will stay. And then when you use match and move, it'll come up from the bottom. Very fancy. So, I don't know. Let's put some text here. Diet Coke as the presenting text. And we'll have it be typed in and out. Let's see how that looks. Wonderful. And let's actually shorten that a lot. And you can click spacebar to play everything. That was a little... Here, something else we could do, for example, oops. If we go back here and we want the text to come with our Diet Coke can, we're just gonna have it type in on enter, and then we're going to copy the text, put it on the next slide, remove the animation so it doesn't start typing all over again, and then we're gonna move that to the side. That could possibly be cool. And to go see what it looks like, we're just gonna replay that. Very, very fun. And then let's see, let's do some spill. Soda, liquid. This is where you have to kind of get creative with the stuff. Splash. Let's do that one. And brown, because it's Diet Coke, of course. And let's move it around just a bit. Put it behind the Coke can. Oh, it was not a transparent. I was fooled. Okay, let's use the background remover. And we're gonna animate this in. Let's see if there's anything that might fit better. There's a lot of really fun transitions, definitely. Let's just go with that one. And then from here, we're gonna remove that animation, and we can have the Coke. You can create a custom animation as well right here. I personally don't love this tool just because it's like kind of annoying to work with. But that's our animation. Let's make it not look stupid. As you can tell, I'm still learning on that one, but let's put lemons. Lemon slices actually might be better. Let's flip it so it doesn't look the literal exact same. And oopsie. I was trying to do something cool there, but that didn't really work. Let's see, let's do it this way. To do some fun like text effects. play around with like layers, like that for example. And now it looks like the Diet Coke is in it, so we will grab the lemons. Actually, hold on, let's grab these. And there's like a sway thing. Here it is. No, I was wrong. This one. And then we're gonna do this one. Animate. Okay. You get the point. Basically, you'd have to mess around with it, but I'm still working on video editing myself. It is definitely fun to mess around in Canva and see what all you can do. I guess like an easy thing I like to do, let me just go into a presentation I have, honestly. Let's see. I'm gonna switch into our charities account. If you like to support veterans, go feel free. But I edit like our YouTube videos, for example, in this one. Let's see. We did this one. So I have audio and all the transitions, and this is about to look crazy. There's probably like 120 slides on this, but the video was completely edited in Canva, so as an example.
Leaving the military soon? Then this guide is for you. I'm Sergeant Spotlight, reporting for duty on behalf of Stay Tuned for Vets. And in the next few minutes, I'll cover 10 smart moves every service member should make after leaving the military. First up, secure your DD-214. This single document is proof of your service, dates, and
it's
discharge
a little glitchy,
status. You'll need it for almost
but that's
every
my computer.
benefit.
That's not
Job
the video,
applicants
but
saves
whatever.
headaches later. Here's a pro tip. Create a secure digital folder labeled military records and drop your DD-214, awards, and medical documents there for easy sharing with employers.
You get the point. Cool transitions and all that, and it's just fun. Definitely fun to mess around. Let's see, we can go through some templates if you want. We can walk through how to do, how to use the chip template, for example. As you can see, I'm working on some other ones for you guys. I just uploaded the coloring book GPT and the tutorial, so I'm not going to go into detail on that one, but you can do end screens. This is something I'm working on. I hope my dad isn't watching because this is a surprise for him. However, I'm making a full magazine about him as a gift, and I think once it's done I will share that as a template, but that is definitely something I love and I'm very proud of. Yeah, let's go for maybe a website real quick. Here's a tutorial website. I also have a tutorial on this one. This was one of my first. I actually have this as a template linked as well under that tutorial, so if you want a more in-depth tutorial about websites, go ahead and watch that one. But actually, let's do it from scratch. That'll make a lot more sense. Say you want to make a website, right? Maybe I should open a website project. That would actually make more sense. There you go, and then it'll start you out with a blank website, and then you can, honestly, you could just grab a template, a free one, and then mess with it and do whatever you want. But to hyperlinks, like I like to link pages, for example, like a proper website. So a quick tip to do that and hyperlink stuff within website. And this is the same process for if you want to ever hyperlink something in general, whether it's a PDF or website or whatever. You will click into, let's put our story, for example, and then you can hit Control K to link stuff and it'll pop up. And I like to underline it so it, isn't super obvious, and then you can just Control K everything around that element so that if somebody clicks next to it, it'll just open it up. And now if we go back here, let's change the color so it's obvious that something happens. Now preview, and if I were to click on our story, it would open up a new tab. So that's super easy. And then, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to cover. besides basic stuff. I mean, if you click on position, oh, the Diet Coke can is still there. But the layers tool, you can actually, you know, let's just put a bunch of stuff on there, okay? And then position, layers, you can easily rearrange stuff from the layers tab. You can lock stuff from the layers tab. You can group as well. You can just mess around with all these. You can set it as the background if you wanted to. And if you're just working with one element specifically, let's see, we want this one, you can arrange it to the front, to the back, forward, backward, whatever, align. So these are all the alignments that you could do earlier. Something else that's really helpful that I have learned, for example, let's get a square. If I want to resize the square, you'll see when I drag this that there are measurements right there, the width and the height. This isn't the best size document for this example, but if you want something really exact, you can click on position and you can go and you can physically or manually edit the sizes. So for example, if you're making like some sort of wraparound template, or I did this a lot with like Cricut designs where it had to be very exact, that way I could use the most of the Cricut paper basically if I was like making stickers or something. You can do that and resize it. Let's see, I'm trying to think of anything else. Let's see, I know some of you are interested in Canva AI. We can touch upon that real quick. So Canva AI, don't make the same mistake I did and click on any of these video prompts, because it will take away one of your video editing credits, which is not fair in my opinion, but whatever. Code for me is very interesting. Let's see, let's ask ChatGPT, write a coding prompt for Canva AI. Coding to, I don't know, show a subscribe to Little Mouse Arts page for YouTube. And then we'll put this code into Canva coding and it will do the coding for you, which is actually crazy. I remember I watched the keynote. If you don't want to watch the keynotes, I watch them every single year, so feel free to rely on me, and there you go, boom. It's literally coding a landing page, which is honestly kind of crazy. I know they're still developing the code, so I don't think you can like physically use it like to code websites yet, because that's what I originally tried to do with it. But I think it's really good if you like screen recorded it, for example, and then use that to practice code, or, you know, if you like a layout that it spits out for like a website, that you could copy that code, send it to your website person or whatever. But for people who don't like coding and messing with code like me, I feel like it is definitely very helpful, and that's what it spit out. Not the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life, but you know what? Whatever. And you can use that in a design. So you can code literally whatever you want and put it into your design from scratch. Then next, let's see, let's get out of code for me. Design for me, that is your own graphic. So that would be similar to how we did magic design for the elements. And then draft a document. Also, I feel like pretty self-explanatory. So there are a bunch of these examples, but I don't know. I haven't tried out document personally. And then video clip. I don't think I have any generations left over right now, actually. But let's see. I will use one on you guys if I do. Write a AI video prompt for generating a mouse giving a thumbs up. Obviously, AI is still under works. I haven't had the best of luck when video prompting / creating, at least not here. But I do like that you can change a bunch of things. So for example, if you're going for something really specific, like for us, let's do cartoon. Aspect, duration is kind of the same, but let's do medium shot. Let's see what it gives us. I don't know if I have any left, but we'll find out. And then Yes, only 8 seconds long. Oh, okay, I don't have any left, but you get the point. It would create it right there. I can definitely show you something it has created in the past that is almost diabolically bad. But let's see. I probably have it still saved. I might have literally just deleted them this morning. Okay, this one for you. Okay, that one was with a Google Gemini tool, and then, let's see, this one was with Canva. So, not quite what I was going for, but, you know, I feel like if I learn to prompt properly, or if I give it a proper prompt, it might turn out better, it might not, who's to say. I know some people in that Facebook group be creating some crazy things, but yeah, video creation is not my specialty, at least not with AI. Let's see, I think that's it for me on like an overall round addressing. Feel free to pop a question in the chat now, and I will address it. And I will stay on until 11, so about 6 more minutes for any questions you guys might have. Here, let me put a text on here. Any questions? And then, like I said, you can replay this video at any time for watching it, rewatching it, learning, all that type of stuff. And then I have a tutorial request form linked in this description, as well as all my videos description. So if there's anytime you want something explained more detailed or anything, you can go into that form. It's just a Google form basically, and you can drop a tutorial request on anything. And if I don't know how to do it, I'll just simply email you and say I don't know how to do it. But not to toot my own horn, I'm pretty gifted with, you know, technology and all that stuff. I can learn pretty fast, so odds are I'll learn it for you and then make a tutorial. That way we can all benefit from it. I guess something I can show you guys briefly that isn't Canva related is on ChatGPT how to create a custom GPT. Now, for this feature, you do need to have a Pro subscription, and you're so welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in, for sure. I very, very much appreciate it. Yeah, to make a custom GPT, you'd go into ChatGPT and click on your profile picture. I'm wrong, don't follow me. Open the sidebar, GPTs. Clearly I have too many going on. And then it'll pull up a page where you can explore other people's creations. And honestly, there's a lot of free ones out there. And then also, so I'll note, to use a custom GPT created by somebody else, you do not have to have the Pro ChatGPT subscription, but to create your own and like basically sell that or share that with somebody else, you do have to have a Pro subscription for that. So it's essentially the same concept as in Canva, where if you're having the free version, you can use anything anybody else created for you. You can't create it basically. But there are so many fun ones from ChatGPT itself. I honestly haven't even gone through those, and I know there's a bunch of different ones. The Canva integration, I see this question a lot in the group on Facebook. It does not work, so I'm just gonna let that die on that hill right there. Don't try it. I have tried it many times, and if you tell it to create a Canva design, it's not capable of doing that right now. So even if it said something like, oh yeah, would you like me to generate a link for you and open it in Canva, it can't do that. So don't waste your time trying to make it do it. It definitely doesn't work yet, although I think in the future it'll be a really cool tool. But for example, I've created like GPTs where it only talks about cooking stuff, and it like helps me with recipes, or for work, that way it remembers only details about the work concept and stuff like that. But to create one, you would go into the top right corner right here and click create. And then you could use ChatGPT in a different window to configure the instructions basically for this custom ChatGPT, and you can like name it and do all this stuff, and then when you're done you can choose to keep it private for yourself or anybody with a link to sell it. So yeah, that's how I do the cartoon one, for example. We can use that as an example so you can see what you're buying. So I configure this basically to, it'll always stay on topic with coloring image generation. No matter what you tell it, it'll try to like reroute back to the conversation basically about the coloring book thing. And I have generated various images with ChatGPT and AI in general, so I know what its strengths and weaknesses are. I know a lot of times it'll have like floating elements per se, or lines that don't connect with each other, and it's just like you can kind of tell it's AI sometimes, you feel me? So the way I've configured this one specifically is it always has bold lines that connect and give the user a great coloring experience. This GPT is only $1. It's linked in my PayHip, possibly in the description. I don't know if I linked it or not, but let's see. Let's ask it. Create a little mouse on the computer learning something. And then it'll enhance the prompt, so I've coded it to where it will ask you what drawing style you want it to be, what size the image should be, and then it'll enhance your prompt afterwards, just in case your prompt wasn't good enough per se. So let's say cartoon and chibi mix, please, and a square. Obviously image generation takes a minute, but I will wait until it's done and then I will wrap it up. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. If you guys are down, I'm definitely down to do another one of these once we have maybe like a bigger audience where we have more questions to answer. I'm totally down with yapping the whole time, but I feel like more people will benefit from it if they get their questions answered, you know, rather than me just touching on the same things. But let's see what it gave us before we leave. Oh, also, if you didn't know, ChatGPT can create transparent PNGs, which is super, super helpful, especially if you're in Canva. And look how cute that is. So this is not a transparent PNG, but it can make them. And I have it specified in the cartoon or in the image generator to make it oh, it did make it a transparent PNG. Nice. There you go. Yeah, once again, my name's Amber. I post in that Facebook group if that is where you're from. If you're not, the Facebook group is called Created in Canva. It is a huge community. I love everybody in there. There are awesome things every day. So much inspiration, so many tools, tips, resources are shared in there on a daily basis. I highly suggest joining it. If you guys want to learn more things, I suggest subscribing because I tend to get really to the point and I'm very quick at explaining things. However, I'm not opposed to doing in-depth tutorials should you guys ever need them. Yeah, other than that, I hope you guys have a great 4th of July weekend, and if you're rewatching this, I hope you have a great day. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you guys either in the Facebook group or in the next video. Thanks for watching!